Got a clip here from the Dollemore podcast. Not sure if y'all are familiar. Lot very Farron Cousins like in his delivery, but he tends to do some deep dives. I thought we would enjoy on this salty Saturday having a gander at little Dollemore talking about one of the most insane things I've ever seen on television, and that was Tucker Carlson's interview with Donald Trump. Let me give you just a little bit of context. Right now, Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson despise each other. They hate each other. Trump is aware that Tucker Carlson said over text, because of the Dominion lawsuit, what a time to be alive, that Tucker Carlson can't wait for Trump to be just gone. And he predicts it's going to happen soon. But at the same time, Tucker Carlson talks to Trump's supporters on the reg. What does this mean? This means it's required that they pretend like they're pals. And Jesus Christ, what a bizarre interview. Here's Dollemore talking about it.
This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Today's video is brought to you by Private Internet Access. Information as a means of promoting their particular ideologies, but also candidates. And that's what we're seeing right now in a ramp up to 2024 with Fox News's interview last night with Tucker Carlson, which is absolutely just lies. It is an attempt to make the worst candidate possible seem like the best candidate possible with insane lies, things that are so bafflingly untrue to present as truth that it's perplexing. It is literally laughable. And it starts with, seriously, we'll just play it. I'm sure you've seen some clips. I got the longer version of the clip that you may have seen on Twitter where Donald Trump is telling everyone that people were crying. They're, sir, oh, I can't believe I have to take your fingerprints, sir. I'm not an actor, obviously, but Tucker Carlson sits there with a straight face. Well, straight face, I don't know if that's the accurate depiction of it. It is, again, like a dog being showed a magic trick who's just mind blown at the mysticism before his eyes. The googly-eyed feather duster, Tucker Carlson, the haircut, the...
Whoa, wait a minute. Can't just let that slide by. That deserves some praise. Take your praise, brother. The googly-eyed feather duster. That's a good zing. I'm remembering that one. Good God almighty.
Smooth-skinned, soft-brained moron sitting before maybe the only other person on the planet as stupid as him, Donald Trump, asking about what was it like when you got arraigned? Tell us, Mr. President. But before we get to that, a word from today's sponsor, Private Internet Access.
Son of a gun. He got me with the double ad placement. Oh, he got me good. All right, here we go.
Again, an article of projection. Any accusation that is leveled against the left or Democrats or liberals by Republicans is almost always just an admission of guilt that the thing I'm accusing you of is something I do. And he does this relative to Joe Biden because Donald Trump said that he doesn't believe Joe Biden is going to run for president again. Let's start with the first one, which is the more laughable, that everybody was just weeping with tears at the arraignment of Donald Trump.
Mr. President, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Last week, you were in New York for this arraignment. The world watched it. You've not given an interview since. You were there, I think, 57 minutes. Tell us from your perspective what that was like.
Well, it was a horrible thing because I did nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong. You look at even the pundits and the legal analysis, Greg Jarrett, all of these really talented people, they're saying he didn't do anything wrong. So that's it.
Remember one thing, really important, and that's that you don't have to wear a jacket for the whole stream just because you came in with it. And the other thing, as long as I'm here, remember that Donald Trump is doing this for the people that already support him. He's usually only ever trying to communicate to those people, and he relies on others to drum up, like to get people to enter into that group. So when he says, you look at all the pundits, you and I, are not supposed to be like, wait, is that true? He knows that we will all think, what? No one I've seen is saying that. Everyone I've seen is highlighting lines in the U.S. Code of Justice that you have violated on TV with like a graphics department making it easy to understand. But remember, he's talking to a different audience. He is confident that Tucker's audience hadn't seen any of that. So this will be useful when trying to predict what their reaction is going to be like when they see some of these charges. A lot of the Fox viewers are going to feel like this came out of nowhere. They're just saying all of a sudden that he did these awful things. Your job is going to be to say, no, this is what it's been about the whole time. There are going to be some revelations, but the core of it has been telegraphed years in advance. And in fact, there was a pretty significant movement to push the Justice Department to move their lazy asses because years went by with apparent crimes done in public view that simply weren't addressed. Just saying, prepare yourself for those conversations because they're coming.
Number one. Number two, they were incredible. When I went to the courthouse, which is also a prison in a sense, they signed me in. And I'll tell you, people were crying. People that work there, professionally work there, that have no problems putting in murderers, and they see everybody. It's tough place.
That have no problem putting in murderers and other black people. Really not a good guy.
And they were crying. They were actually crying. They said, I'm sorry. They'd say, 2024, sir, 2024. And tears are pouring down their eyes. I've never seen anything like those people are phenomenal. Those are your police.
Yep.
Those are the people that work at the courthouse. They're unbelievable people. Many of them were in tears or close to it. Many apologists were sorry, sir. We're sorry. They had to have me do certain things. They said, sir, I can't believe I have to ask you. I can't even believe that I have to ask you to do it. You could.
It's my hope that we're about 8 months from somebody saying, sir, put your hands against the wall and try your best without the use of your hands to spread your butt cheeks, because we're going to be searching you now. You're going to prison. I still got a little blue left in me.
See, so in one sense it was beautiful because they get it. In another sense, it's nasty. I went to the Wharton School of Finance. They didn't teach me about that. That wasn't like
they
in
didn't
the cards.
about the arraignment part?
That wasn't. We didn't have a class on arraignment. And, it was a sad day in many ways, and in many ways it was a beautiful day.
All right, let's go to the chart here. Let's see how accurate this is. Did this happen? No. And your only other choice is also no. Who is gullible enough to believe this story? We watched his arraignment. We watched him people not opening doors for him. It wasn't a love fest that he would have you believe, that people are just perplexed by what is happening. Pundits are saying that it didn't even break the law. Everything's fine. Yeah. Ridiculous. maybe more, but maybe less ridiculous than this next clip, which Donald Trump loves to be very direct in answering questions. Obviously, Donald Trump does not. He meanders, he wanders, it's word salad, it's verbal diarrhea, it's just stream of consciousness thinking that there's no filter whatsoever. So Tucker Carlson asks him a question about Joe Biden and whether Donald Trump thinks he's going to run for president again in 2024. And in the course of answering the question, by the way, it takes a minute 22 to get to the answer.
Ooh.
Over a minute to get to the answer. And just watch and then pay attention to what's being said and all of the insanity, and then remember the accusation that's leveled in here. We'll talk about it.
I'm very excited for this. For Salty Saturday, I try to just watch the first parts of the clips so I know generally what they're talking about. I haven't seen this part, and I really like where Dollemore is going with this, and I tend to agree, but I'm sure I'm going to have my own thoughts, because it takes Trump such a damn long time to answer the question. I'm going to let the rest of this play out. I'll see you on the other side.
Do you think Biden will stay in the race?
Look, I watch him just like you do, and I think it's almost inappropriate for me to say it, but I deal with other people. I don't see how it's possible. And it's not an age thing. You know, like I say, I have friends that are 88, 89, 92. Bernie Marcus, Home Depot, is 95. Smart as hell. He's sharp as he was. I mean, he's, mentally, Bernie Marcus, Home Depot, founder of Home Depot, one of the founders. I mean, I had a meeting with him a few months ago. He was 100%. I know people that built their fortunes from 80 to 90. They were always struggling, and they made a fortune from 80 to 90. A couple of people in particular. It's amazing. He's not too old. His age. I think they do the age thing because I'm 4 or 5 years behind. They say this is a way of getting Trump. Let's go home. But there's something wrong. I saw his answer today on television about whether or not he was going to run, to a very nice guy named Al Roker. When you can't get a softer question than that. That was a long answer, talking about the eggs and the this and that. Look, I don't think he can. But say what you want. They didn't expect him to get it. Yeah. People could say he won an election. It always goes, I got the most votes of any person, any sitting president in history. I was told if I got 15 million less, I couldn't lose.
Do you think Biden's going to stay in the race? Home Depot founder, old guys making their fortune late in life, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, there is something wrong. I saw his answer the other day. It was a long answer talking about eggs and this and that. A minute 22 it took him to answer the question, accusing Joe Biden of being so mentally unequipped to do the job that he just meanders from topic to topic, talking about eggs and everything else, while he's doing the exact thing he's leveling a charge about.
I mean, it's just wild. It's just wild. I have to wonder, and there's just not enough Republicans in my life. Let me know if you have some in your life. I genuinely want a sample of the answers to this question. Do they buy this stuff? When they see Trump talking about this stuff, are they like, yeah, Joe Biden is giving really long, rambling answers that don't focus on anything in particular and barely recall the question? I have no idea how anybody who is a fan of Trump sees that and doesn't just cringe with self-aware embarrassment. Good Lord. Let's have a look at what the Wicked community has to say. Patrick's Time says Bragg in a press conference was asked why he didn't state the crime in the indictment. He was. Two really important things on that. One would be there I mean, he did state. I don't know what to say other than the crime was the covering up. The crime Alvin Bragg is currently trying to charge is the covering up of the payments to Stormy Daniels. And the various other entities that did the same thing, like, for example, the National Enquirer. But as for the additional crime that makes that first one a felony, he doesn't have to. It can be that he simply can't prove that the crime happened. I don't think that's what it's going to be. I think what we're going to see is that later he does charge him with a different crime. Or later the federal government charges Trump with a crime that relates to that. And Bragg is simply not charging it because it's not his sandbox. But the crime doesn't have to have happened. It can be attempted and failed. Bit my tongue pretty decently there. It can be attempted and have failed. Or it could have been planned for, and he could have abandoned it because it became irrelevant, or yada, 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 yada. There's a ton of things circulating around there that aren't relevant to the core issue, which is, did Trump cover up those payments, and why did he cover up those payments? Because, and the reason for that, I guess I should stress, that changes the nature of the cover-up. It changes it from what could have been an accounting error to a crime that he was aware of. What did I saw just a little earlier? Zick says, I like Jesse. He, Texas Paul, and even John Tester all look like they should be GOP, but they're definitely not. Love them. Interesting. Andrew Woznicki, good to see you, my friend, says, I'm glad Jesse beat cancer. Good for him. Hell yeah. Mars Falcon says, nobody in history has ever done so much nothing wrong. There is nobody less wrongdoing than I, maybe ever, probably ever. I've never been in the same room, same building as wrong. Donald Trump. That makes sense. Patrick's Time says, no chance Trump goes to jail. Oh, I heartily disagree. No, I take that back. I think there's a damn near 100% chance this man is convicted of jail-worthy crimes. But good point. He might not actually go to jail. Patrick's Time says, oh, F. Well, I hope I have the right person. I may be wrong, but somebody says that they were searching for a humorous clip for me to laugh at, and now my interest is piqued. So we're going to go look at that. Stand by.